have any idea what you're going to name your product, your company, or your services? Have you ever thought about that? Or is that the one thing that's really holding you back from taking the very next step? We'll talk about all that and more in today's episode of Vision of Success TV. So you're thinking about starting a business, and yet one of the most difficult questions that arises is, what am I going to name my business? What am I going to name my products and my services? Now, over the years, I've talked with a lot of business owners, and believe it or not, that is one of the top questions that actually holds people back. They start planning, they start getting all their concepts ready to go, but when it comes to naming it, what do you name it? And I agree, that can have a huge impact on your business, not only now, but well into the future. It can impact your growth, and it can impact how you actually grow and how you change your products over time. So it is something you need to consider now. But at the same time, I would say make a jump now, because you can always change and do business as different concepts down the road. But overall, I have found a few techniques that I consider to be very important when you're starting with this process. So number one, if you have any concept whatsoever of your business, I would suggest jumping online and Googling it, finding out if another company exists that's anywhere similar to you that would be considered to be a competitor, and they are using the potential domain name that you are thinking about. Because when it comes to searching for people online, we all know what we do. We head into Google or physically up to your domain, to the URL bar, and you start typing in. And what we do is we look for a .com product. So if you can find your URL or your domain name, and you're thinking about using like a .biz or a .org or something like that, I would say don't go that way. Instead, stick with the .com. Change your name enough that you can find a .com name, because that's what we're all programmed into. They've tried to introduce different things, and it's in some cases has worked, and I have multiple different types of domain names, but again, we automatically think no matter what you say to someone, they tend to type in that .com no matter what, because it's what we're programmed into, it's what we're used to. So number one, do a search and see if there's any competitors that are similar in nature, because the last thing you want to do is drive traffic and have it end up on a competitor site and you lose all that traffic and good name. Now, number two, I would also suggest that you go down to your local state or government organization, someone that's going to issue a trademark for that particular name. See if it already exists, see if it's covered, because if it isn't covered, then you're more likely to be able to move ahead for it. Now, right now, you're small, you're going to start with a basic product or a basic service. But hopefully, in the matter of 2 to 5 years, you will be huge and you will be, a very well-known name. And if that's the case, you don't want to be confused down the road with someone else. So go ahead and check that out ahead of time. You can always head over to the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, the USPTO.gov, and do a complete search. And again, you will find anything and everything that has ever existed that other people have already used for that. And then from there, what I would do is recommend that you always stick with a name that's easy to sound, easy to spell, and easy to navigate to. So many people like to get into the cutesy sayings or the funky names funky spellings of names and things to try and be cute with their product or with their service. And that will end up hurting you, because again, people don't think from that concept right away. Instead, what they do is they think for what they know. Even if they have something in front of them or you tell them about the difference, they like to start with what they know. So if you like this tip, feel free to sign up for my newsletter right here. Every week I release a new post and a new show just like this, a new episode of Vision of Success TV. I welcome and I look forward to sharing my next tip with you next week. Thank you.